After a year, I finally decided to play Veilguard, and this decision didn't come from me actually wanting to play the game. I managed to push this to the back of my brain for a year, and then I didn't have internet for a week. And if you have to know one thing about me, is that I uninstall games all the time. So when this happened, I didn't have internet for a week. All I had installed in my computer were four games, and among them was Veilguard. And I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe this is a sign of the heavens for you to actually play the game and see if all your criticism was warranted. To see if what you thought about this game was true. And when I tell you that I regret every life choice that put me in this timeline and in this place and in this planet and had me play this game for 40 hours that I'm never getting back, that would be selling it short. Okay? I decided that I was going to take some notes. Some notes, to keep my thoughts on paper and not forget what I was complaining about. And one page turned into two, turned into three, turned into four. And it gets to a point where there was too much to complain about. So after 4 pages, front and back, I just stopped. Writing. But I will tell you what, after a year, my experience with Dragon Age Developer was. And I don't know if you can tell, but it wasn't a good one. The first thing that stuck out to me, and I could even tell from the trailers and promotional videos that they put out, the voice acting, it's not good. The voice actors sound like they're being paid in crackers and exposition. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they just seem like they don't want to be there. Like, they don't want to be in the booth. They don't want to be reading those lines of dialogue. And not that I can blame them. Like, I understand where they're coming from. But being subjected to 40 hours of just, like, actors that you can tell they're acting and working, and they don't believe and care about what they're saying. Especially Nev. The voice actress for Nev was terrible. I don't know where they found her. She sounds completely bored every second of her life. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening on screen. She just is nonchalant about it. Whatever. The dialogue itself, there's something about it. And that it's happening to me with a lot of, like, games that have come out, like, this year or, like, past year. There's something about the dialogue that is written in such a way that it feels like two robots trying to talk to each other, or an alien pretending to be a human being. Like, I don't know if it's just me, or I'm used to a certain level and a certain, quality to the writing, especially with BioWare and especially with Dragon Age, that it was so jarring to just hear them talk in this convoluted modern way. It just felt like I was watching TikTok people talk to each other. You know what I'm talking about? Like I don't know. Like a TikTok user and a Twitter user were talking to one another, but at the same time, this game is trying to sell me the idea that this is a Dragon Age. This is what I love, but it isn't. God, just God, honestly. The dialogue wheel, I think, might have been the second worst thing to happen to humanity. First one being, like Nazis and the World War One and Two. You know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, it works perfectly in Mass Effect. Okay, Mass Effect is Mass Effect, and it's near and dear to my heart, and we love Mass Effect in this household. But not everything has to be Mass Effect. And Dragon Age didn't have to be Mass Effect. And I hate it. I hate it because they will give you this fucking dialogue wheel, and they will pretend and lie to your face that, oh, look at all the shiny choices. There's a laughter mask next to this option, so it's funny. And it's like, it's the same option. It's the same option. Throughout the entire game, you're given the yes, she said kindly, and yes, she said sarcastically, and yes, she said sternly. So you're just saying the same stuff. Like the same. It's the same. So why give me choices that are not choices? Why even pretend that I can roleplay in any way? Like, why are you lying? Why are you lying to me? Whatever. The dialogue is terrible. The writing itself is just, it feels AI generated, except I think AI would actually do a better job. And then just the repetition, like the repetition of lore, because this is the fourth, it hurts to say this, it's the fourth installment of an IP, of a saga. There's been 3 other games before it, but because it's a soft reboot, the game is targeted to new audience, to new players that have never even heard of Dragon Age. Least of all, play the other games. So what this game has to do in the first 5 hours is just ram it home like 3 games worth of lore, which is not happening. It's not happening. Like, no way. But it tries, and that just devolves in like NPCs, lore dumping everywhere. And you're just like, okay, can you actually say something of substance, something interesting? No, they can't. It's just lore dumping. And then the game, I don't know, I feel I wouldn't want to be the target audience for this, because it feels like they think the player is stupid and has a very low IQ. Because why are we repeating the same shit over and over again? How many times do I have in the span of 60 minutes have to hear the words ritual, elven gods, Elgarnan, Gillenane, rituals, elven gods, Elgarnan, Gillenane? How many times? Because let me tell you, I could hear them echoing in my head days after I finished this game. I would wake up in cold sweat, yelling, Elgarnan, Gillenane, like a possessed person. Like, I think my neighbors actually thought I was in a cult or something. I have PTSD from this game. Who's gonna pay for that? Like, who's paying for that? Not BioWare. They're probably gonna close soon. So, great, amazing. The party banter it's there. It's all there is. There's not a single moment of quiet and peace and silence in this game. It's almost like they were afraid that if they gave you enough time to think, you would just close the game. So the companions are constantly talking to each other. They don't talk to Rook because whatever, Rook is there, Rook exists. Ugh. They just talk to one another. And in Origins and Dragon Age 2, the companions would talk to each other as well. But it was such interesting bits of dialogue, and it was like, I don't know, like it just really like shone a light in the like relationship dynamics between the party, that you would just stop everything you were doing because you didn't want the dialogue, the banter to be cut halfway through. So we just stop and listen to them talk. This is the opposite. Veilguard is the opposite. Veilguard, you wish you could just stop them from talking, like keep them from talking to one another. But the problem is they thought this incredible mechanism, this system where even if you like interrupt their banter, they pick it back up after you're done with a combat encounter or with something else. They keep it back up. Why? I don't wanna hear them talk. I don't care what they have to say. Whatever. Dialogue options, again, there's multiple instances where I can say oof. Oof, O-O-F, oof, as a dialogue choice that I can say. Kill me now. Thank you. Well, what else? Companions. The companions. Wow. I never. Ugh, God, I've played all the games. I've played Origins the most. I've played Dragon Age 2. I've played Inquisition, and even though since Origins the games just took a deep, like fat jump of a cliff, there was always something redeemable about these games for me, and most of the time it was the companions. Like in Dragon Age 2, the combat and the exploration and everything else sucked ass because they had to put it together like 12 months or something. So the game was not what it should be, but the companions were written so perfectly that they made up for everything. I didn't like all the companions in Inquisition, but I liked most of them, and I like most of the NPCs. So that's also something else that you're like, okay, just so I can talk to this companion or I can romance this companion, I'm gonna put up with bullshit. This doesn't have that. Veilguard doesn't have companions that you can just put up with bullshit for. They are the bullshit that you have to put up with. I hated most of them. I hate Nev and her stupid little fucking hat. What was that character design choice? Why is she wearing a fucking? It's a stupid hat. I don't even know how to call it. Is it like a square on her forehead? I don't know. It's ugly and it's stupid and I don't like it, and it made the game worse for me. So there you go. I think then I got Lucanus, who is introduced as this, oh my god, he's a brooding assassin. And then 5 minutes later, he's grocery shopping for the team and cooking like a single mother. Terrible. Tash, bro. This game, I feel like if you turn your brain off for most of it, you can just push through it. But then you recruit Tash, and you are reminded that, oh, they ruined Dragon Age. Like, they fucked it up. They ruined Dragon Age, and this is what I have to live with, this knowledge for the rest of my life. Tash is terrible. I think Tash is the worst offender in the sense of, like, it's just an original character. Like, this is, like, Corinne Bush's OC added into the game or something like that. I don't know. The way they talk is just modern. Like, there's not even an attempt to make Tash sound like they belong in the world of Thedas. They talk like someone from Twitter. It's terrible. And there's no character growth. Their entire personality is, I'm non-binary, and I wish that was a joke. It's not. It's just that. The only character that I liked was Davrin, with Emmerich being a close second because, I hate everyone else. But Davrin, I think he was written by the same writer that wrote Garrus from Mass Effect, so that makes sense. Someone had to do something right in that team. Someone had to be competent, and it was the writer that wrote Davrin. Loved him, loved his voice actor as well, and that's it. That's all I liked about the companions. Davrin. Period. God. The romance is terrible. The romance, like, these companions, you can tell they were written to be romanced, mainly because Rook, who is an HR nightmare, like, Rook will flirt with anyone at any given point, and it doesn't matter that they're grieving or upset about something. If Rook sees that heart icon, Rook will flirt, okay? And you would think, oh, so these characters were made to be romanced. At least their romance will be good. No, it isn't. It's cringy. It's terrible. It's lackluster. It leaves you kind of like empty. Like, what are we doing here? Are we 12 years old? Like, what are we doing? And for some reason, Rook and Solas, like the villain, have more chemistry and sexual tension than Rook has with any other companion, but I cannot romance Solas because that would make sense, and we don't do that here. Veilguard is not about that, okay? Fine. Gameplay. the game was made for console. And the fact that an RPG, you cannot see me, but I'm doing the quote unquote fingers, the bunny ears here. Ugh, it's for console. And the fact that an RPG, it's made for a console hurts me. What do you mean? What do you mean? RPGs are meant to be played on PC. So that is another glaring red flag that this game is not an RPG. I can tell you that it's not. It's not an RPG. It pretends to be, like many action RPGs in the past 10 years. They pretend because they have a dialogue wheel, but they're not. And it's just a clusterfuck of buttons smashing. Like you just press A and B and Y a bunch of times until the 5 enemy types that you have throughout the entire game just drop. There's not truly a difficulty difference. Like if you play the game in harder difficulty, they are not harder to fight. They're just bullet sponges. So it's just more boring to fight them. The dragons, I remember dragons in previous games were very rare and they got more common in Inquisition. But I remember in Inquisition, dragons were not a joke. They were not a gimmick. They were not like, oh, let's throw a dragon at the player and see, what they do. Dragons were terrifying. Dragons were completely optional. And they scared the living fuck out of you. That and bears. In this, you fight like the most powerful dragons in existence, except they all fight the same way. And they get boring. Like you fight like 5 dragons. And you're like, okay, am I done? Are we done? Can we stop this? Because it's just boring. There's no sense of like danger. It's just, oh, I've done this 4 times before. I will be fine. The puzzles, you kind of, you know those like wooden toys that you give toddlers in like, I don't know, like when you take them to the doctor and you just like have the little shapes cut into the wood and then they have to match the shape they have in their hand to the hole in the wood. It's that, except instead of letting the toddler figure it out by themselves, you are actively guiding their hand and doing it for them. That's puzzles in Veilguard. You will encounter a puzzle, and the puzzle, which is, big word, puzzle. Puzzle means, you have to actually stop and think. No, it's just, okay, we have to make a bridge, right? And there's a slot where something obviously goes in there to activate the bridge. Where is it? It's right there, 2 steps to the left. Put it in there, done. And throughout the entire time, the companions are telling you exactly what you need to do. Like, oh, Rook, look, something goes in here. I wonder where it is. If you just look, 60 degrees to your left, that's the answer right there. Pick it up and put it here. And it's like, oh, can I do it? No, you cannot do it by yourself. That's silly. Why would you want to play the game for yourself? That's stupid. The maps are linear. They are closed off. They're small. And they repeat throughout the entire game. I know that they try to use Inquisition kind of as a learning point, because in Inquisition you had open world exploration, but the way they did it, because Inquisition was meant to be a live service, it felt really empty because all the online side quests weren't there. So it was very empty. So they said, oh, we're gonna do it semi-open world. But they just did Dragon Age 2, but with more, like, better graphics. Like, that's all they did. And you go to the same locations over and over and over again. And some areas will be closed off until you reach a certain quest or you have a certain companion with you. But it's not really, like... It's just the same over and over again. It's very Metroidvania. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't care for it. There's loot everywhere. Like, every 2 steps, there's something for you to pick up. Also, they kind of like breadcrumb trail you throughout the game because they think you're gonna get lost or something. So they will put like chests and loot towards the area you need to go. So you kind of like, like the goblin you are, you go there and you're like, oh, loot. But it gets really boring after a while. Like after, I think, the 20-hour mark, where I was pretty much like leveled up on everything and I had a bunch of money, I was like, you know what? I don't want to pick up shit anymore. Like, I don't care about this. Like, whatever. The UI was cluttered, overstimulated, console oriented. There was always something on screen at any given time. And it's kind of unnecessary. Like, I feel like the journal for quest is there for a reason, but on the corner of the screen you would have, the title, go to the ritual side, go to the ritual side, go to the ritual side. It's like, okay, I don't need you to, I can look in a journal. You don't have to tell me what to do multiple times everywhere. Like, not only are the companions telling me to go to the ritual side, but also is the UI on screen 3 times for some reason. And it's just like, enough. Leave me alone. The pacing of the game is really not there. It's very slow. There's long stretches of absolutely nothing. Nothing happens. You're just going around talking to people and getting pushed around by other NPCs. And then something happens. And then nothing happens again. It's like, oh, okay. The world environmental design, it just feels like Rainbow Dash puked all over the game. Like, I don't know how we can go from Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 to this, where it's just like pastels and pinks and neon and ooh, it's so pretty, it's so whimsical. There were some areas, like the Mournwatch hub and the Grey Warden's hub, which are later into the game, where they're cool. I liked them. They were really refreshing after all that rainbow nonsense. You just walk into, dark muted color palettes and you're like, okay, my eyes can finally rest. But then you leave the hubs and it's back again with bullshit. The game, the last 5 hours, it does get pretty gritty and dark, but you just wish the game looked like that the entire time. Like, we are fighting gods that are blighting and corrupting the entire world. Make it look like it's corrupted, dude. Make it look dark, make it look gritty, make it look like, the world is dying. Don't just do it in the last 5 hours. Whatever. Terrible. There's sanitized violence everywhere. At some point, I don't remember, it was a mission in Minrathous. You go to the Temple of Andraste, and a lot of people are dead. Like, when I say a lot of people, I mean dozens of corpses are slammed all over the floor, and there's not a single drop of blood to be seen. Not a single one. And I'm supposed to walk into this area and feel something, right? Feel scared or feel, worried about what happened here. But just look at them and they just look like they're taking a nap. So why do I care? The factions, to call them anything, the factions, they're just caricatures. They're just like, okay, let's just make these intricate, complex, morally questionable factions into something palatable and something that we could like air on Disney Plus. The crows, they made into these dark book romance, like glorified version of the mafia, where they're all like hot and yes, they kill people, but they do it for the right thing. And they're actually really nice if you, care to know them. I hate it. I hated it, especially because we know that the crows are pieces of shit through and through. So stop trying to sanitize my fucking hobo murderers. Thank you. They're also fortune they introduce in this game. And when you meet them, you're like, oh, they're pirates. Pirates. They pillage and pirate and murder and do things. No, they don't do that. They steal from dragons and they steal from the rich to give it to the poor. And if they come across an object of cultural significance, they give it back to the people. Lame as hell. I hated it. The only ones that I liked, the factions, were the Grey Wardens and the Mornwatch, and that was about that. That's it. I didn't care for the rest. The lore and the story. There's lore in this. I don't care for it, and I don't like it at all. This is just supposed to be a soft reboot for Dragon Age. This was supposed, in their minds, right? They were going to scratch and scrap everything about Origins and Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. And they were going to build a new lore, a new setting for Dragon Age with this one. Veilguard was going to be the first game in a new installment. Not happening. Not in a million years. Not happening. But that was in their mind. So that means that they were actively destroying lore throughout the game. Which is great. I love it. None of your choices in the previous games matter or are even addressed at all. The only choices that the game cares about are the ones you made in Inquisition, and not even all of them. The choices are, okay, who did your Inquisitor romanced? Do they disband the Inquisition? Do they not? And do they want to save Solus or kill him? That's it. That's all the choices that the game cares about, because whatever. Nothing else is addressed. Does Morrigan have a god son? Who knows? She doesn't even talk about her son. So she might not even have a son. Who knows? Who cares? South of Thedas, so that would be Orlais, Ferelden, the Free Marches, destroyed. Destroyed off screen. You don't even get to see it. You just get like a letter from the Inquisition, and they're like, well, the South of Thedas is gone, destroyed, dead. Woohoo! Oh my god. The mysteries that have been plaguing the minds of fans for the past 15 years can be boiled down to the elves did it. Well, Andraste, the elves did it. The Maker, the elves did it. The Golden City, the elves did it. The Blight, the elves did it. Everything was because of the elves. And I'm supposed to care that we are enslaving them and putting them in alien ages? I'm not. They deserve it. What the fuck is this? What do you mean the elves did everything? Everything is because of the elves. I wish I was joking. The Blight, the Blight, they made into a status effect in this one. You know the Blight where that thing that if you got it, you either had to be put down like a dog or had to drink the corrupted blood of a darkspawn to become a Grey Warden and maybe die in the process. Yeah, that's a status effect. Like at some point you walk through a puddle of blight and you get blighted, status effect, and then you walk outside and you're like fine again, because that's exactly how the blight works. Kill me. They twinkified the Qunari. The Qunari that used to be scary, used to be imposing, used to be, something that meant something in this house. No, they're just tieflings. They're just like twinks. I don't care about them. They ruined Dorian. They ruined my boy Dorian and gave him a fucking mullet or something. I don't know. They gave him a terrible haircut. How dare they? They also used him as a plot device. Like, you would think that if you're gonna bring back companions and characters from other games, you would make them more relevant to the story or make them advisors or something. No, he just shows up for like 5 minutes and then pieces out. They ruined Morrigan. They made her boring, first of all. Like, wow, how do you make Morrigan boring? They managed to do the impossible. Some bits that I enjoyed were Solus's memories. Like, you can pick up his memories from the map. You just have to... They're collectibles, basically. They're optional, except they're not really optional because the game pushes you to get the good ending. So take it as you will. But yeah, you just pick up like statues around the map. And they unlock Solus's memories. And they were interesting. They were very short. So that's that. But whatever. Magic is technology now. Magic is all about technology because that makes sense. To whom? Not me. but it made sense to them, making magic technology, whatever. The Veil Jumpers, this is not something that I was expecting. They're supposed to be, elves and other people that are very in tune with the Fade and with elven artifacts and this and that. They are the SCP Foundation. They made the Veil Jumpers into the SCP Foundation. This is not really a complaint. I just thought that it was very stupid. So I wanted to add it into this because what the fuck is wrong with them? Whatever. Villains, Disney Channel level of meh. Like, what's going on? They're supposed to be scary, right? Like, they've been yelling at me, Elkarnan, Gillinan, what? And they're just like these fucking idiots that do not know what the fuck they're doing and get God every single time that they try to achieve something. And I'm meant to be afraid of them. Like, I am thwarting their plans left and right with no effort whatsoever. And I'm supposed to be, afraid and think that they're a threat. I don't care about them. The story just doesn't pick up for like 20 hours. Even more, right? It picks up like here and there throughout 20 hours. And then the last 5 hours of a game are decent. I'm not gonna say good because that would be a lie. They're decent. The game is like 40 hours long, by the way. Depending on, and how good you are at a game or what difficulty you're playing in. Only the last 5 hours of a 40-something hour game are decent. Great. Amazing. Isn't it? I love it. The aesthetics are just... I don't know. You cannot look at Veilguard and see Dragon Age. Veilguard is Veilguard. It's not Dragon Age. The creature design is terrible. They fucked up the Darkspawn, right? The Darkspawn used to be these like these, they were like these strategic, terrifying looking creatures that wore armor and used weapons, and they were terrifying to fight and to look at. And now they look like Halloween decorations, and they all look the same, and they all fight the same, and it's just terrible. I forgot they were Darkspawn. At some point you just like, they don't seem like Darkspawn. They don't look like Darkspawn. They don't fight like Darkspawn. They're not Darkspawn. So you just like, I treated them like a new type of enemy altogether. The character design, like the companion design, they tried so hard to make them quirky and unique that kind of made them all look simple and beige and bland as hell. It just feels like they were designed by a 12-year-old. Like, they're the original character of a 12-year-old writing her first Dragon Age fanfiction, which I've been there, you know what I mean? But I didn't make it into a video game that I sold for $60 to people, so there's that. Another complaint that I have, many, but another complaint that I have, accents. As someone who has an accent, and who played this game when I was younger, and I remember stumbling upon Rivaini characters, and I was like, oh my god, Rivaini characters have a Spanish accent. That's so cool. And then, you realize like Fereldans are British, and Antivans are Italian, and the Dalish are Welsh, and they are unique, right? They have their unique countries and their unique cultures and their unique histories, so it makes sense that they have a unique accent. And then you play Veilguard and they are all American. Why? It feels like a convention. It feels like an anime convention. It feels like I'm watching cosplayers like do like a short fan film. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's just lame. Shame on you. Shame. Positive notes. There you go. I did it. Positive notes. I have 4. I like some of the environmental design, mind you. Maybe some of the maps in the last 5 hours. In the Mornwatch, I like the Mornwatch hub, and I like the Grey Warden hub. That's it. Davrin, my favorite companion. Is it really a win when I hate everyone else? Probably not, but I'm just gonna say that that's a positive. I loved Davrin because he's shown as the only normal character amidst freaks, basically. As I said, only the final 5 hours had decent gameplay and the pacing improved. And you could see glimpses of Dragon Age. You could see glimpses of the gritty, dark setting that I loved. And then they were taken away from me, but they were there briefly, and you just wished the entire game looked like that, but it didn't. And I liked Solus. I liked his memories. I liked talking to him. I wish I could have smooched him. I don't know. I liked Solus. I feel like he wasn't used enough, but whatever. My verdict, I don't know if you can tell, is that I hated it. I hated Veilguard. I would not have done this. I would not have played it if I had any other choice, okay? So it's a game of all time. I'm currently playing Bloodlines 2, and unfortunately that's as bad as this. So, you know, apparently it's an industry standard now. It just feels like baby's first RPG, but without the R, just the PG. It's just a PG-13, the video game. Sanitized, Disney, colorful, not Dragon Age. It's linear, it holds your hand from beginning to end. It's boring, the pacing is all over the place. I did not care for it. The colors, I didn't care for. It's just disgusting. The dialogue heavy, like everything, but the dialogue is not actually good. It's not memorable. It's just there because they're afraid of letting you think. Because if you think, you would not be playing this game. And there's lore everywhere, but the lore is meaningless. It just boils down to the elves did it. So why are you even explaining anything to me? If at the end you're just gonna say, the elves did it, whatever. The companion system and the writing are the worst in the franchise, and it's terrible. The combat is shallow and repetitive. You fight 10 enemies and you're done. You just don't want to fight anyone anymore because it's whatever. I don't care anymore. I've done this multiple times. Who cares? And it's insane. It's insane that a 40-hour game only has 5 hours that are worth a damn. And I'm never getting this time back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never getting those 40 hours that I spent on this back. That's great. I love that for me because, you know, I could have done anything else with that time. Jumped out a window, watched paint dry, grass grow. I don't know. Something. Taking a nap. I could have taken a nap. I could have done many things with this. It's life-changing. Veilguard, I will admit, it's a life-changing experience. It's a life-changing game. But not all life-changing experiences are for the better. They're not positive. This wasn't one of them. It did change my life in the sense of, like, I cannot believe that this was a game that I played. I cannot believe that this was a game that existed. And I cannot believe that they had the audacity of adding Dragon Age to the title. It feels like a personal attack, like a personal affront to my person. And I hate them for it. And I hope that both sides of their pillow are warm and drooled. Okay? Because they deserve it. They deserve to never have a good night's sleep for the rest of their lives. And now, as I said, I'm playing Bloodlines 2 because I'm a masochist. Am I a masochist when I don't get anything out of this torture? Or am I just like a mental case? Tell me in the comment section. I don't know. Whatever. I hated this. 0 out of 10. Actually, no. Minus a million out of 10. Don't do it. Don't play it. Oh, Dragon Age. Play Origins. Okay. Origins was meant to be a standalone game. And this is why. This is why, because too many fucking fingers in the pie ruins the pie. I don't want a finger pie. Thank you. No. Play Origins. You will thank me. Bye. I'm gonna cry or something. God.